we always like to get this ball rolling by reminding you that there are two potential frequencies happening because you exist. Two frequencies. When those frequencies align, that's what we call resonance or allowing. You feel wonderful. Your emotions tell you about this alignment or this misalignment. When the frequency of you doesn't measure up or match to the frequency that is being broadcast from the source within you, then you feel something that you would describe more like negative emotion. So your emotions are always your indicator of your resonance, your allowing, your harmony, your alignment. Sometimes as physical beings, you forget about that because you are so good at your physical perspective. Your physical perspective is one of seeing and hearing and smelling and tasting and touching. You have all of these physical senses that we like to explain to you are physical interpreters of vibration. But whatever you want to call them, you have a perspective of your physical life experience, and everything that you are experiencing is because of your interpretation, your vibrational interpretation. Sometimes you don't really realize that you're doing it because you were born doing it, and so many others around you are doing it. And so for most people, your life becomes one of comparing those perceptions. I see it this way, how do you see it? I hear it this way, how do you hear it? It smells like this to me, how does it smell to you? And so as you are comparing your physical interpretations, you are living an interesting life experience. But there is another comparison that we are really wanting to awaken within you and activate within you. And we would like it to become your most dominant interest. And that is the comparison between the frequency that you are broadcasting because of what you are giving your attention to, and the frequency that the source within you is broadcasting about the same subject. And it's important for you to understand that that source perspective is there with you and for you all of the time. There's never a moment in time that that is not happening. So in brief explanation, we know that many of you, if you've been listening to us for a while, you've been hearing us say this so well that you could say it. And so we're going to say it really fast. You were source energy before you came into this physical body, and that larger part of you that is source energy still exists as source energy. But a part of that source energy came into the physical being that is you, and here you are exploring, knowing what you don't want, knowing what you do want, knowing what you don't want, knowing what you do want. And whenever you know what you don't want, you send a rocket of desire about what you do want. Is this too fast, or do you already know this? So you're sending this rocket of desire about what you do want, and this rocket of desire that emanates from you all day, every day, this clarifying rocket of desire coming out of the contrast or the comparison of life that you are living, this rocket of desire is creating a momentum. Remember that word. It's going to be big today. A momentum that causes your vortex of creation, the vibrational version of you, to expand. Now, did you follow us so far? That vibrational version of you is constantly expanding because of the contrast that you are living. You're constantly molding yourself into greater specifics, into greater clarification, into greater preferences, into greater becoming, into greater evolution. You as a being, you as a personal, important being, are evolving constantly. So this contrast causes you to expand or evolve, and the larger part of you keeps up with that expansion and holds that furthermost vibrational set point as a constant for you to measure where you stand in your perceiving as compared to that perception of expansion. You like that? We really do. We really like you having this guiding vibration, this guiding light, this vibration that is the fullest culmination of that which you are. So now as you're moving through your moment in time, and your thoughts are moving from subject to subject, you may be choosing thoughts that are of lower frequency than that. And when you do, the emotion that you feel is one of discord. You would call it frustration, or you would call it anger, or you would call it depression. You would call it something that when you say it, you mean, I don't feel as good as I have sometimes felt. And more important, I don't feel as good as I want to feel. And the reason that you don't feel as good as you want to feel is because life, your life, caused you to move to an expanded frequency that you are right now not maintaining. And that's all right. It's all part of the experience of physical life. You are pioneers out here on the leading edge, exploring the variety and the contrast. So in that exploration, you do something really important in the deliberate creative process. You take a step one, which is you ask for something. You ask for something. And often what you are asking for is something that from your perspective, from your snapshot moment in time, you don't have. You ask for more money, or you ask for someone to understand you more clearly, or you ask to feel better, or you ask for some expansion in some way in your experience. You ask for something that you believe you don't have. And the operative word here is believe you don't have, because a belief is just a thought you keep thinking. So you're asking for something that is different from the thought that you've been commonly thinking. Well, because law of attraction is responding to your frequency, your beliefs matter a lot. So when you say, I want more money, but I don't believe it's going to come to me anytime soon, that belief, whether you say the word I don't believe or not, the belief or the habit of thought that you've got going on is offering a frequency that equals your point of attraction. So when you ask for something that you are vibrationally opposing, you feel the discord in your physical body. We're going to be talking about what to do about that feeling of discord. We want to help you to understand that you can, and we're not kidding you even a little bit, you can be or do or have anything that this time-space reality helps you to identify that you would like. In other words, if a desire is born within you, then that desire has been born within us. And when that desire is born within the source within you, there is a vibrational frequency that is then achieved about that desire that you have given birth to. That means when you find resonance with that desire, it will be. It must be realized in your experience. But when you give birth to a desire that you are defying with a belief, then that means your belief, which is the thought that you keep thinking, is continuing to introduce a steady, chronic vibration that opposes the desire. You sort of following this? So you want something that you're broadcasting differently about. Now, many of our human friends say, well, no problem, I'll just stop wanting it. Because when I want something I don't believe, there's a discord that is uncomfortable. And we say, you cannot pull back from expansion. Once life has caused you to expand, and once the source within you has taken that vibrational frequency and is holding it, then you only have one option if you are to feel normal again, if you are to feel good again, and that is you've got to go with the flow of your own expansion. And anytime you feel negative emotion, what it is telling you primarily is you're not right now, not now, going with the flow of your expansion. And we're here to say to you, and the reason that you're not easily, and it's okay, in fact, it's normal, we're going to explain to you how come you're not going with the flow of your expansion, is because you've got a pattern or a habit of belief, a habit of thought, a habitual vibration going on that you can't just change all of a sudden. And the reason that you can't change it all of a sudden is because law of attraction won't let you do it. Law of attraction says, oh, this is the thought you're thinking. Here's another thought just like it. And you say, oh, yeah, that thought is just like it. I think I'll think about that thought too. And then law of attraction said, well, since you like those thoughts, here are more. Here are a whole lot more just like it. And you say, Yeah, I feel the resonance of that. There's something that feels awfully familiar here. I think I'll just stay right here on these familiar thoughts. Because to change the thought would take focus that I'm not ready for. This focus is easy because there's a momentum in this focus. There's that word again. Momentum. So there are two favorite words that we are going to continue to repeat here in this gathering. The first you've already heard, momentum. And the second is realize. You are the vibrational interpreter of your life experience. And just like you interpret vibration into what you see and hear and smell and taste and feel with your fingertips, you are the realizer of everything that comes into your experience. But the question that we want you to ask yourself is, are you right here, right now, in the vibrational frequency that lets you realize what's being offered to you? That's really what deliberate creation is about. It's about you tending to the only thing that you need to tend to, which is your point of attraction. You must be in the step 3 mode of taking care of your set point, your point of attraction. That's what your work is. And what you're going to discover in the hours and days and weeks that follow this discussion, when a thought begins, just like standing up on that hill in front of your car, when a thought begins that isn't up to speed with the disc you really want to be on, you're going to have the thought, oh, this is not the disc I meant to choose. And if you catch it that fast, no momentum, no momentum, no momentum. And in the absence of the introduction of those slower momentums, this vortex that is really you will sweep you in. In other words, now you are a cooperative component. So how did you like that discussion? We're asking you because it's a little freaky to be in a human body and talking about vibration, to talk about you as if you are a vibrational instrument, but you are. The other day, Esther had a very clear vision of herself as a transmitting and receiving mechanism, and she's got this knob that she's adjusting the frequency on. And then she envisioned herself talking to someone who she was trying to explain something to, and they just weren't getting it. The more she explained, the more they didn't get it. And the more she explained, the more they didn't get it. And the more she explained, the lower disc she chose. And the more she explained, the lower disc she chose. And the more she explained, the lower disc she chose. And then right in the middle, she is reaching over and trying to adjust their dial. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? She laughed right out loud because she realized she should not have her hand on anybody else's dial. Only on her own, you see. And so that's really what we are wanting to assist you with. We want you to understand that you are vibrational beings, and that you only have your hand on your own dial, and that the majority of things that are giving you grief are trying to adjust others so that they can understand you better, rather than clarifying your broadcasting ability. When you get up on that high-flying disc and there's no resistance in your signal, others who are up there will jump on your disc with you. And you'll have a glorious, high-flying, good-feeling, productive, successful experience. And if you are on a disc of frustration or a disc of anger, others like that will jump on your disc and have those experiences with you too. So, we've enjoyed this interaction more than we can explain with words. There is great love here for you.